If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, I know. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. The world is going wild when they come for you. The river's running dry when it all falls through. Don't you worry about a thing, baby, I got you. Yeah, baby, I got you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. Lots of lovely things to talk about today, lots of nice updates. Harry and Meghan were out and about, living their best lives at the Katy concert, which definitely raised a couple of eyebrows. And we're going to get into that. But do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button. We are almost at 35,000. Appreciate you all for joining me. Wow. We're going to end the year very well. Let's start with some good news. Fantastic news, actually. The UK press continues to flop. This was in Press Gazette, actually on the 17th of October. I missed this. National Press ABC's Queen's death uplift makes for bigger decline 1 year on. Press Gazette's monthly analysis of ABC national newspaper circulation figures. Many UK national newspapers reported steeper than usual annual print circulation declines in September due to comparisons with the previous year when the death of the Queen appeared to lead to an uptick in sales. The Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday both saw their circulation fall by 17% year on year in September, up from an average decline of mostly somewhere between 10 and 13% each month in the year so far. the biggest year-on-year decline among paid for nationals, so that's Sunday people, down 24%, followed by sister Reach title Daily Star Sunday. Now, remember, Reach also has the Daily Express, which I think is one of the worst in terms of propaganda, royal propaganda, particularly against Harry and Meghan, even though they are attempting to expand over to the US. So hopefully this will put a dent in their plans. And of course, even though this is for print, and print is just naturally in decline anyway, um it's still good news to me. Like anything about the Daily failing is good news to me. And hopefully we see like a similar thing happening with their online readership as well, especially as we're seeing some advertisers starting to pull out, and lawsuits mounting up against a lot of these tabloids for the damage that they have done. And of course, Meghan won her huge lawsuit against the Daily Mail for publishing her private letter. So both circulation going down and also huge payouts for lawsuits. That is fantastic. In LOL news, Prince William. Willie was out doing some things for the cameras, and he asked a group of children to guess his age. And as we know, children are going to let you know exactly how they feel. And they guessed 57. The Prince of Wales has protested that he is not that old after a child said he looked as though he was 57. During a tour of the north of Scotland, the prince and the princess visited Moray. While speaking to pupils at a primary school, the prince answered questions, including from one pupil who asked if he had brought any soldiers of the King's Guard with him, while the Princess of Wales volunteered some time on a bike race. One child asked the prince how old he was, and when he prompted the child to guess his age, they said they thought he was 56. And all I have to say about that is in people who aren't aging like sour milk news, Harry and Meghan flew out to Vegas to watch Katy Perry. I believe that Katy Perry is actually doing a residency in Vegas. And so this was them getting off the plane and also here at the concert. I believe Meghan is standing next to Nation and New, the lady who apparently was one of the people that helped to introduce Harry and Meghan to each other. She was there with Meghan and I think her husband, and I think Harry and Meghan also spoke to Katy Perry's dad at some point. So yeah, one thing I wanted to say about these pictures though is whenever you get these pictures of Harry looking a little bit miserable, the squad are like, oh, they're going to use these pictures and they're going to say that Harry was miserable. Listen, guys, they're always going to come up with this type of narrative. So, you don't always have to bring up that the press is going to make it look like Harry was miserable. We know that they're going to do that because that's what they do every single time. It's nothing new. They just carefully pick some photos to make him look miserable. But as we saw, like at the Beyonce concert, all of that footage that came out, all that fan footage, completely dispelled that narrative. So let's not make that something that we worry about every single time. Now, one of the reasons this raised some eyebrows was because of comments that Katy Perry has made in the past about Meghan around the time of the wedding. Funnily enough, she actually made those comments while standing next to Lionel Richie, who also, both of them performed at the coronation. Lionel Richie has been involved with the Prince's Trust, and Katy Perry is also the head of something that Charles has going on, something to do with the Asian Trust that Katy Perry is the head of. Even though she's not Asian, so I don't know what that's on about. But yeah, they both performed at the coronation. But back in around the royal wedding time, Katy Perry was asked about the dress, and she said, "I would have done one more fitting." Perry, who performed at Charles's coronation, She continued praising Kate Middleton's dress. Kate won. I'm sorry. I'm never not going to tell the truth. One more fitting, but I love you. And she had a very shady look on her face when she said that. Now, obviously, she's married to Orlando Bloom, and they are pretty much neighbors now in Montecito. And Prince Harry actually said, was it in the James Corden interview, that sometimes Orlando will call him and tell him that, paparazzi are around. So maybe they've made amends. Meghan is just a nicer person than me, because me being a Scorpio, I will hold a grudge against you for the rest of my life for being shady. But I guess, where Meghan is in her life, she knows she's winning. She knows that she is the moment. If anything, this is probably just more humbling for people like Katy Perry. So heck, why not just forgive, forget, and move on? And it definitely makes Meghan look like the classier of the two ladies. And I think if I was Katy Perry, I'd probably be feeling a little bit silly about making such a comment now. What's been interesting is that both the press and the derangers on the Twitter streets have been commenting about, Meghan not being seen. Hollywood experts of the small e, saying when it comes to Meghan's big rebrand, time is of the essence. She's been given this massive opportunity, but she's not really seizing it. She's not seizing it how? Having a podcast that was rivaling Joe Rogan during its run, that's not seizing it. Becoming a VC investor, and if you think that Clever Blends is the only thing that they are investing in, you've got to be kidding. That's not seizing it. Then we have the investments with Ethics, that's not seizing it. Then we have all of the stuff that's been going on with Archwell, that's not seizing it. Signing on to WME, that's not seizing it. Signing on to Henry Walker, biggest speaker engagement agency in the US, probably the world, that's not seizing it. Like how much more seizing does one person have to do? What they're really trying to say is, we're not seeing Meghan in the capacity that we would like to see her in order for us to profit. The readers who read this stuff might be dumb enough not to realize it, but the people in media know very well that power moves are made silently. The biggest and most lucrative moves that Harry and Meghan are probably making are being made silently. It was forever before you even knew about the WME deal. It was forever before you even really had it confirmed about the Netflix and Spotify deal. Meghan was, in the warehouse with the Clever Blends people, and you didn't even know. So half of what Harry and Meghan are doing, you don't even know. And I love it for them. They're just pressed as a panini that they don't have the access. And the lack of access means that they don't have the money. And the other royals just aren't stacking the coins for them in a way that they wish that they would. Right. On to the next thing. Camilla. Oh, I need to sneeze, y'all. One sec. Right, so Camilla and Charles are in Kenya for a trip, of course, and apparently they went shopping at a market, but neither she or her staff had enough cash. Wow, apparently the 100 million that we're paying them in taxpayer money isn't enough. So, Camilla was out and about for their royal tour, and the British, this is from Celebrity. The British media totally buried the story and the photo of Camilla sulking in the car as she waited. That is true. I saw that more online and in other publications than I did in the British tabloids. I noticed a sudden surge of Camilla defenders in the comments yesterday, claiming that she travels poorly or she was feeling unwell or whatever. Like, what's the point of defending her when the media doesn't even make an issue of her rudeness and the palace isn't even trying to do damage control? And as for Camilla's rudeness, please, she was extremely uncomfortable being around so many people of color. There were several photos and videos where you can see her complete disassociation because she's so uncomfortable. But hey, the British media got a cute story about Camilla shopping. So the Queen, oh God, I hate calling her that. Camilla bought so many gifts at a donkey sanctuary in Nairobi that her aides ran out of cash. She indulged in a spot of Christmas shopping, snapping up a bag, a blanket, and bracelets. At the final stall, she took a Sisal basket bag made by a local lady, for which a member of her team was able to produce 400 Kenyan shillings. It's beautiful, she said. I think I should buy one. But when it came to purchasing a blanket at the next store, there was only enough cash to pay for half. For the rest of her shopping spree, staff chased around behind her, taking the storeholders' bank details so they could pay them later. But the shortage of cash was only temporary, one insisted. Um, a lady who sold Camilla a jar of cashew butter did not mind being owed a debt of 300 shillings by the royal visitor. What that means is that the money is in the bank, not in the hand, she laughed. Her Majesty's credit is very good, she joked. Perhaps they should pay me 300 sterling pounds. I think they should. Ugh. Yeah, embarrassing. Kaiser goes on to say, I'm glad that none of the vendors gave her those items for free. They were all charging for their items, and it's kind of ridiculous that no one thought to bring enough cash. I mean, the optics of it look awful. Like, maybe I could excuse Camilla for not bringing cash, but what horrible staff work. I hope all of these people got paid, and if they don't, I hope they give tons of interviews about broadcast Camilla stealing their ish. Anyway, Camilla was in desperate need of a very large gin and tonic in literally all of these photos. Yes, indeed. She did not look too happy. The happiest I actually saw her look was when she was feeding a baby elephant, but heck, anybody would be very happy feeding a baby elephant. She doesn't seem to be happy when she's around people. And there's just been some rather interesting anecdotes coming out about the Kenyan tour, especially how the staff was treated, and absolutely no surprises here. So we have someone who tweeted, multiple Kenyan based journalists have raised concerns about racial undertones during the royal family visit. Those who I have spoken to said that they were mistreated and felt degraded in their own country, a sovereign country, so to say. I will headline it as segregated press buses, stale sandwiches, and use toothpicks behind the scenes of a well choreographed but tone deaf royal visit to Kenya. Journalists have complained of being segregated from their British counterparts during pool transportation and not receiving proper meals despite Kenyan taxpayers partly funding this high level visit. Organisers UK and Kenya allegedly separated local journalists from Kenya and the UK, drawing criticism and claims of racial discrimination. I don't understand why they would have to separate them. The controversy began when 3 separate buses were designated for journalists, 2 for the royal editors, correspondents, and photographers from the UK, and another one from the Kenyan-based colleagues. I was amongst the accredited to cover the visit. The buses were labelled UK media and local media. This raised eyebrows as it appeared to segregate journalists based on their nationality and colour. Colleagues have expressed displeasure about unequal treatment they received. I chose to drop all of the frustrations of colleagues here because you're unlikely to find it in any local television or publication. I can no longer defend the Kenyan media. Colleagues in Nairobi woke up early in the morning and met at the Radisson Blue Upper Hill for 2 days. Tuesday and Wednesday, they were arranged under Route 1 and Route 2. No breakfast, water, and lunch for Kenyan based journalists. UK and Kenya was distributing packed food. One sec, folks, while I just get on to the next slide. So it goes on to say, the Britons received preferential treatment during mealtime, despite the Kenyan and UK state teams agreeing on distribution of food equally. The issue is not about food or water, but contempt. In one incident, some Kenyan-based journalists were not provided lunch, only to be offered a few leftover food boxes later. Upon opening, they discovered stale sandwiches, unwrapped cupcake papers, and used toothpicks. This was and is disgusting. The situation escalated almost a week before the royal visit when senior officials from UK and Kenya created a WhatsApp group for Kenyan-based media. The platform was intended to gather all accredited colleagues to cover the royal tour. Hours before Charles Windsor arrived at State House, Kenya, an incident involving a senior Kenyan diplomatic figure and UK and Kenya diplomat hinted at behind-the-scenes friction. The UK diplomat was allegedly involved in a confrontation with a Kenyan envoy over press photographers. Witnesses claim that the UK and Kenya diplomat engaged in a physical altercation with the Kenyan envoy, who played part in making this visit a success, seemingly over his placement, which she believed was obstructing coverage of the royal visit. The envoy is a known media figure. I am saying this because without his input, the back channel diplomacy, this visit wouldn't have happened. Do y'all remember when some of y'all said that I should never cover these tours? This is what you would have been missing out on. This drama. While details surrounding the confrontation remain somewhat unclear, this incident that disgusted many journalists and Kenyan state officials suggests that there may have been tensions or disagreements beneath the surface of the carefully orchestrated royal visit to Kenya. I have engaged a Kenyan diplomat on the confrontation. He told me, I think she was just trying to get line of sight for press photographers. Very diplomatic reply. All the best, Balozi, in your diplomatic endeavors. I have engaged multiple state officials who registered their displeasure with the UK and Kenyan official for mistreating senior and junior Kenyan government officials. Goes on to, it's quite a long thread. Another unusual incident unfolded at the Nairobi cemetery involving the said UK and Kenya diplomat and a group of 3 individuals, 2 military officers linked to Defence Press Unit and a civilian journalist. According to multiple sources, the foreign diplomat confronted the trio at the cemetery, insisting that they relocate to another fixed position. There were 2 categories, press pools and fixed positions. Despite the individuals' attempt to identify themselves, it appeared the UK and Kenyan diplomat paid little heed to their explanations. One source said it was either her way or the highway. The source noted the diplomat was resolute in her demand. She informed the 3 that they were on Commonwealth grounds, are subjected to particular regulations. According to one source, she even threatened to enlist palace guards to forcibly remove them if they didn't comply. The incident raised questions and concern amongst those who witnessed it. Some observed that the UK and Kenya diplomat seemed to suggest an air of superiority, as if the rules governing the British Commonwealth could be imposed upon Kenyan soil. Oh, goodness gracious me. It left many individuals, including the military officers, feeling concerned and disrespected. This visit was also not without its share of intriguing moments and curious decisions by both Kenyan and British officials. One such instance during the royal visit to Nairobi National Park, when a red carpet was unrolled for the royal family to keep them from stepping directly onto the soil. However, the decision received widespread attention, and not all of it was positive. Here we go. Scobie, a royal reporter, criticized the red carpet rollout for the royal family as being absurd and out of touch with the event's natural surroundings. He questioned why a more pragmatic approach wasn't taken, suggesting that a well-informed Buckingham Palace aide could have requested its removal. Furthermore, the royal couple's arrival stepping on a red carpet was met by Dr. Alfred Mutua, recently demoted foreign minister and now moved to tourism ministry. Another royal family editor, Chris Ship, who had accompanied the monarch on the Kenyan visit, expressed his observation that red carpet seemed to be a particular fascination for Kenyan officials during this visit. Ship remarked in his tweet that he'd seen red carpets in Kenya than on any other, maybe he meant to say more red carpets in Kenya than any other royal tour. He found this overuse to be somewhat peculiar and perhaps at odds with the aesthetics of the visit. And then there's another really interesting thread. This thread ends by the person saying, sad, but once the local Kenyan media realized that they were being treated differently, they should have and collectively spoken, and if nothing was done, they should have disengaged from covering the king's visit. Complaining is not enough. 100% agree. Why would you allow yourself to be treated like this? And then there was another really interesting thread that I'll just end with. So this was from a Mercy Sussex who said, this is the first time I have been a close observer of a royal visit to Kenya and the aftermath. Let me tell you, it was an ish show. The Kenyan government, not the people, went above and beyond for our former colonizers, rolling out extraordinary amounts of red carpets, more than any other visit, according to royal reporter Chris Ship, keeping dissenting voices of locals um, as the Kip Sigis fighting for their land, Momo wanting reparations, and the family of the woman murdered by a British soldier away from the king, lest it be known. Right, so there was actually an incident that happened where they wanted to protest, but the police stopped it. Forgive me, I haven't got that article today, but we can get into that tomorrow. But I think that's what she's referring to. Anything other than live for him. As usual, the royal travelled with his own media and local media got limited access, among other complaints outlined in this article. This makes one wonder, what was the point of leaving his country? More importantly, what was the point of the Kenyan government inviting him, since the real issues regarding Kenya's relationship with Britain were barely addressed? This exactly. If that wasn't going to be addressed, what's the point? And if you want to address it, you don't need Charles and Camilla to be there. Definitely don't need Camilla to be there. What you need is a British officials to go and just do the negotiations, and you don't need any of this pomp and pageantry. Just get the business done. Do a Zoom call if you have to. We managed to do it for 2 years in the pandemic. I mean, remember, guys and dolls, this is costing both the British taxpayer money and the Kenyan taxpayer money. When I called this a colonial nostalgia tour, I had no idea how right I was. The king, whose visit coincided with our 60th independence anniversary, refused to apologize for the atrocities visited upon our grandparents in the 1950s as they fought for independence. He didn't even visit Laikipia to hear about the locals' issues with BAT UK. Instead, the visit was all about photo ops, the red carpets. Oh, the red carpets. The British royal favourite, Wildlife, his son, after all, did say we should stop reproducing lest the wildlife suffer. Never mind what British soldiers' fires have done. Oh, I think he's referring to Prince William there. Have done to the ecosystem in Kenya. Already, the British reporters they brought with them for their sycophantic coverage are already calling it a resounding success. As an observer of royal reporting, I am not surprised that both the royals and their reporters are deaf to how badly this tour went. They're not reporters, they are cheerleaders. His primary job is to fawn over everything the royals do. When Camilla was photographed by a prominent local paper, glaring from inside the car, a royal fan accused the paper of intentionally putting her in a negative light. Isn't that what they do to Harry and Meghan all the time? Especially Harry, trying to make him look like he's miserable. This is because they're not used to factual coverage. That doesn't include words like sweet nods or amazing or awesome when it comes to coverage of the royals. If royals are the best Britain can offer to sell Britain, then they already lost. Yeah. Things could have been so much more different. And it is, all of this is just a matter of poor leadership. And I think I said this in another podcast, the relationship between Britain and its former colonies could have been so much better if it was based on equity and respect for diplomatic relations. Both sides could benefit. And we could have had honest conversations about the past and present, to be honest, because there's still stuff going on. and moved forward in a more equitable, fair, and respectful way. It's just the fact that you have poor leadership. They don't want collaboration, they want control. So we have the Commonwealth countries being treated like dirt, and at what at a certain point, they themselves have to just stand up, get off your knees and stand up. And I think for the United Kingdom, these tours, I think they really just at this point are making us look more outdated and out of touch, because nobody else really does this. I mean, the other royal families, they do it, but I think they're very much scaling down now. And yeah, I just don't think this really has a place in the modern world anymore. If diplomatic relations need to be done, they should be done by government officials, because, like I said, all of this is costing the taxpayers on both sides, both in the UK and the countries that they go to, money. And what do we get out of this? It's just a pageant, and a very outdated one as well. And the weird thing is, all of those people that showed up to the coronation and were, cheering, and I don't believe that the majority of them are even paying attention to this tour, or really, care about anything that the royal family does on a day-to-day basis, but it's costing you a lot of money. And with that, I shall end the podcast. Thank you so much, everyone. As always, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And links in the chat and in the description box if you would like to donate. I'm still looking at whether or not I can move rooms so we can get some better internet. But I think for now, this kind of me recording the live in private so that the stream isn't too glitchy, and just re-uploading it as a live, I think this is going to work for now. So thank you very much for being patient with me. And yeah, let's dance our way out. See you tomorrow, folks. Ciao.
If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove.